Let me speak to you gently for a moment, not to promise you love and not to rush your destiny, but to remind you of something many hearts overlook while they are waiting. Some of the most important people in your life are introduced quietly, not with certainty, not with clear signs, but with small moments that only make sense later. If you have ever wondered why certain connections felt different, why timing never worked, or why someone entered your life and left a mark without staying, stay with me. Because Allah often introduces soulmates in ways you do not recognize until the heart is ready to understand. My dear sis, before Allah introduces you to the person meant to walk beside you, He often introduces you to yourself in ways you did not expect and may not have asked for. This stage is rarely gentle, and it is almost never romantic. Yet, it is one of the most important parts of your journey. You may find yourself growing emotionally tired of repeating the same patterns, choosing the same kind of people, or giving your heart where it is not truly protected. You may go through seasons of loneliness that make you question your worth, your timing, and even your du'as. But what feels like delay is often preparation, happening quietly within you. Allah begins by strengthening your discernment. You start to notice what drains you and what brings you peace. You become more aware of your boundaries, your emotional needs, and the kind of love that aligns with your faith rather than excites your insecurities. This growth can feel uncomfortable because it requires letting go of old versions of yourself. The version that tolerated inconsistency, the version that confused intensity with connection, the version that tried to earn love instead of receiving it with dignity. My dear sis, Allah knows that if He introduced your soulmate before this inner work, you might not recognize them or you might mishandle what was meant to bring peace. So He refines you first. He teaches you patience through waiting, self-respect through disappointment, and clarity through silence. You may look back at this season later and realize that Allah was protecting your future by reshaping your heart. Because the right person does not enter a life that is still attached to what no longer serves it. This is why personal growth often precedes meaningful connection. Allah prepares the heart before He places something precious inside it. And when the time comes, you will not meet your soulmate as someone searching for completion, but as someone already grounded, aware, and ready to recognize what is truly meant for you. My dear sis, one of the most confusing parts of your journey is meeting people who feel almost right, but never fully settled in your heart. Connections that begin with hope, effort, and emotional investment, yet slowly leave you feeling unsure, anxious, or emotionally drained. You question why it didn't work, why it hurt, and why it lingered longer than it should have. These connections are not accidents, and they are not punishments. They are lessons designed to protect your future. Allah often introduces you to people who are not meant to stay, so you can learn discernment before the one who is meant to remain enters your life. Through these experiences, you begin to understand the difference between attachment and alignment, between excitement and peace, between being chosen and being emotionally safe. You start noticing how certain connections require you to explain yourself repeatedly, lower your standards, or silence parts of your heart to keep things going. You feel the emotional imbalance, the inconsistency, the lack of clarity that slowly exhausts you. My dear sis, these experiences are not meant to break you. They are meant to sharpen your awareness. Allah teaches you what your soulmate will never make you feel. Your soulmate will not confuse you, will not make you feel like you are too much on some days and not enough on others, will not require you to chase reassurance or question your worth. Through unfinished connections, Allah trains your heart to recognize emotional safety. You learn that love should not feel like anxiety, that interest should not feel like confusion. That consistency is not something you should beg for. These lessons are painful because they involve attachment, but they are merciful because they prevent greater pain later. If Allah allowed every connection to work out, you would never learn the difference between what feels good temporarily and what lasts with peace. My dear sis, when you finally meet the one written for you, there will be a calm recognition rather than emotional chaos. You will not need to convince yourself. You will not feel rushed or pressured to hold on. Your heart will feel settled, not alert. This is why Allah allows some people to leave without closure. The lesson was the closure. The growth was the gift. And one day, you will look back and realize that every unfinished connection was gently guiding you towards something far more aligned with your heart, your faith, and the peace you were always meant to have. My dear sis, one of the hardest lessons Allah teaches when it comes to soulmates is through timing that refuses to make sense to your heart. You meet someone when you are not ready, or you are ready, but life is not, or everything feels right, yet circumstances quietly stand in the way. This kind of timing is painful because it makes you question everything. You ask yourself, why Allah would allow recognition without union? Why your heart would feel peace with someone you cannot yet keep? Why closeness would appear only to be delayed? But this timing is not cruelty. It is mercy wrapped in patience. Allah understands what you cannot yet see. He sees versions of you that still need healing, versions of the other person that still need growth, conversations that still need maturity, faith that still needs strengthening. My dear sis, timing tests trust more than distance ever could. Distance hurts the heart, but timing challenges the soul. It asks you whether you believe Allah's plan even when it contradicts your desires. Many connections fail not because love was absent, but because readiness was missing. Two people can recognize each other and still not be prepared to build something healthy together. Allah delays to protect what is written from being damaged too early. You may feel like you missed your chance, like the moment passed, like Allah chose difficulty over your happiness. But what is written for you cannot miss you, and what misses you was never meant to stay. My dear sis, delayed timing also teaches emotional discipline. It teaches you how to hold feelings without letting them control your choices, how to wait without clinging, how to trust without demanding certainty. These lessons are uncomfortable because they require surrender. Not passive waiting, but active trust. Trust that Allah is aligning not just events, but hearts, intentions, and circumstances. Sometimes Allah allows you to recognize your soulmate early, so you stop settling for less, so you no longer confuse attention with alignment, so you protect your heart from connections that do not match the peace you have tasted. This recognition becomes a standard, not a source of pain. My dear sis, when the timing finally aligns, it feels different. There is ease where there was once resistance, clarity where there was once confusion, stability where there was once uncertainty. You do not feel rushed. You do not feel afraid of losing. You feel grounded. Until that time arrives, Allah is not withholding love from you. He is guarding it, and He is teaching you how to trust Him even when your heart wants answers now. Because the soulmate written for you will not arrive in chaos. They will arrive in a season where your heart is ready to receive without fear, and your faith is strong enough to wait without breaking. My dear sis, one of the biggest misunderstandings about soulmates is believing they must arrive with overwhelming emotion, instant attachment, and intense attraction. This belief causes many hearts to attach quickly to the wrong people while overlooking the ones who bring real peace. Allah rarely introduces soulmates through chaos. He introduces them through alignment. You may notice that when someone truly meant for you enters your life, the connection feels different from what you expected. It is not dramatic. It does not rush you. It does not demand emotional urgency. Instead, it feels steady, familiar, safe. You begin to notice how this person treats others when nothing is gained from it, how they handle disagreement, how they speak about faith, responsibility, and commitment, how they respond when things do not go their way. This is because Allah prioritizes values over excitement. Chemistry can pull hearts together quickly, but values are what keep them together long term. My dear sis, shared values create a quiet harmony that does not need constant reassurance. You do not feel the need to perform, impress, or compete for attention. You are not anxious about being replaced or forgotten. You feel respected without demanding it. Allah knows that attraction alone fades, but values deepen with time. So He allows you to recognize your soulmate through consistency, character, and faith before emotion overwhelms judgment. Sometimes this recognition happens slowly. You may not label it immediately. You may even overlook it at first because it does not match the intensity you were taught to expect. But peace is not boring. Peace is rare. My dear sis, Allah teaches you to listen to how your heart behaves around someone. Are you calm or constantly alert? Do you feel safe expressing yourself or afraid of being misunderstood? Do you feel pressured to become someone else or comfortable being who you are? These answers reveal more than feelings ever could. A soulmate will not push you away from your values to keep them. They will not make you compromise your faith, your dignity, or your boundaries for closeness. They will move at a pace that respects your heart and honors your growth. Allah introduces soulmates through conversations that feel meaningful, not draining, through silences that feel comfortable, not awkward, through mutual understanding that does not require constant explanation. This is how Allah protects you. He teaches you to recognize what is stable rather than what is intense, what is sincere rather than what is loud. And when you finally understand this, you stop chasing sparks and start valuing substance. You stop mistaking anxiety for love and calm for boredom. You realize that what feels peaceful is often what is meant to last. My dear sis, Allah does not want your soulmate to overwhelm your heart. He wants them to complement it, to support your faith, to respect your journey, to walk beside you without pulling you away from yourself. This is why shared values often appear before emotional attachment. Allah allows the foundation to form first, so that when love grows, it grows on something strong. And one day, you will look back and realize that the most meaningful connection in your life did not begin with intensity. It began with alignment. There is a moment that comes quietly in your journey when you are no longer chasing love, explaining your worth, or forcing connection. You are tired, not in a hopeless way, but in a way that has matured you. Tired of guessing where you stand. Tired of mixed signals. Tired of investing your heart where peace never fully arrives. This exhaustion is not failure, it is clarity. Allah often waits until you reach this point before introducing your soulmate, because only then are you able to recognize ease without suspicion. Before this stage, chaos can feel familiar, and calm can feel unfamiliar. You may mistake anxiety for passion and inconsistency for excitement. But when your heart has been refined by experience, ease becomes unmistakable. My dear sis, when the right person enters your life, there is a noticeable absence of struggle. You are not constantly wondering where you stand. You are not overthinking every word, every pause, every change in tone. Your heart is not on edge. This does not mean everything is perfect. It means the connection does not require you to abandon yourself to keep it alive. Allah introduces soulmates through relief, relief from confusion, relief from emotional tension, relief from the need to perform. You notice how natural it feels to be yourself. You speak without rehearsing. You listen without fear. You express boundaries without guilt. My dear sis, this ease is one of the clearest signs of what is meant for you. What is written for you does not drain your soul before nourishing it. It does not exhaust you before bringing comfort. Allah knows that a heart that has suffered emotionally needs gentleness, not intensity, stability, not unpredictability, consistency, not promises. That is why the soulmate He sends does not enter with chaos. They enter with calm. Sometimes this calm feels unfamiliar at first. You may question it. You may wonder why you are not overwhelmed the way you were before. But peace is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to settle you. My dear sis, Allah also uses this stage to teach you self-worth. You are no longer impressed by attention alone. You are no longer moved by words without action. You value effort, consistency, and integrity. This is growth. When your soulmate arrives, they meet you at this level. They do not need to convince you. They show up with clarity. They respect your pace. They honor your boundaries. Allah does not send the right person to test your emotional endurance. He sends them to support your emotional safety. This does not mean the connection lacks depth. It means the depth is stable, not volatile. It grows quietly, without fear. My dear sis, ease does not mean the absence of challenges. It means the presence of partnership. You face difficulties together, not against each other. You communicate without feeling threatened. You grow without losing yourself. This is why Allah allows emotional exhaustion before emotional fulfillment, because only then can you appreciate peace without mistaking it for boredom. Only then can you protect what is given without taking it for granted. And one day, you will realize that the most beautiful connection in your life arrived when you were no longer desperate for it. It arrived when your heart was finally ready to receive without fear. That is not coincidence. That is divine timing wrapped in mercy. My dear sis, one of the most misunderstood parts of destiny is believing that what is written for you must arrive with certainty, clarity, and dramatic signs that leave no room for doubt. But Allah often works in a far gentler way. He introduces your soulmate through recognition that grows quietly, not through announcements that shake your world. This recognition does not rush you. It does not overwhelm your heart. It does not demand instant decisions or emotional surrender. Instead, it settles into your life slowly, like something that belongs there. You may not even call it love at first. You may simply notice comfort, a sense of familiarity that feels safe rather than consuming, a presence that does not disrupt your peace but gently blends into it. My dear sis, this is intentional. Allah knows that loud beginnings often burn out quickly. They rely on intensity rather than understanding, on emotion rather than compatibility. But what is meant to last is introduced in a way that allows trust to build naturally. Quiet recognition shows itself in small moments, in how conversations feel easy rather than forced, in how silence feels comfortable rather than awkward, in how you feel respected without needing to ask for it. You notice that your heart does not feel anxious around this person. You are not constantly afraid of saying the wrong thing. You are not questioning where you stand. Your nervous system rests instead of staying alert. This calm is not accidental, it is guidance. My dear sis, Allah often allows recognition to come before labeling. You do not need to name the connection immediately. You simply feel that something here is different, healthier, more grounded. This protects you from rushing ahead of wisdom. It gives you time to observe character, to see consistency, to witness how this person handles responsibility, faith, and difficulty. Quiet recognition also respects your healing. If you have been hurt before, Allah does not throw your heart into chaos again. He introduces what is meant for you in a way that allows your heart to remain open without fear. This is mercy. You may even overlook this connection at first because it does not match past patterns. It does not create emotional highs and lows. It does not keep you guessing. It does not pull you into confusion. But over time, you realize something important. This connection does not drain you. It does not require you to abandon your values. It does not cost you your peace. My dear sis, Allah introduces soulmates in ways that protect you from your own past attachments. He shows you that love does not need to be dramatic to be meaningful, that consistency is more valuable than intensity, that safety is more important than excitement. Quiet recognition also deepens gradually. It does not fade with time. It strengthens. You begin to notice how naturally you consider this person in your future plans, how their presence feels supportive rather than demanding, how your faith feels respected, not challenged. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. My dear sis, when Allah introduces your soulmate this way, it allows you to choose them with clarity rather than impulse, with awareness rather than attachment, with trust rather than fear. And when you look back later, you realize that what felt simple was actually profound. What felt calm was actually protective. What felt quiet was actually deeply intentional. Allah does not always announce blessings loudly. Some He introduces softly, so your heart can recognize them without being overwhelmed. And this kind of introduction is often the most beautiful of all. My dear sis, there is a stage Allah brings you to before introducing your soulmate that many people misunderstand. It is the stage where your heart is no longer desperate for love, no longer afraid of being alone, and no longer willing to settle just to feel chosen. This stage does not make you cold. It makes you grounded. At this point, you are not waiting with anxiety. You are living with trust. You are not searching for someone to complete you. You are complete enough to recognize what truly aligns with you. Allah waits for this moment intentionally because a heart that is chasing will cling. A heart that is healed will choose. My dear sis, when you reach this place, your standards become clearer without becoming rigid. You know what you can compromise on and what you cannot. You understand that love requires effort, but not self-betrayal. You value peace more than attention and consistency more than promises. This is when Allah introduces your soulmate. Not when you are begging for signs, not when you are questioning your worth, but when you are steady enough to receive without fear of loss. You may notice that at this stage, your life already feels fuller. You have learned how to enjoy your own company, how to sit with your thoughts, how to trust your instincts again. This inner stability is crucial because a soulmate is not meant to rescue you from emptiness. They are meant to walk beside you as you grow. My dear sis, when the right person enters at this stage, the connection feels mutual from the beginning. There is effort on both sides, respect on both sides, clarity on both sides. You are not guessing. You are not overthinking. You are not afraid to ask questions or express needs. There is no power imbalance, no emotional chasing, no fear of abandonment controlling your actions. This is what Allah protects you for. Many people meet potential soulmates too early and lose them because fear leads the relationship instead of faith. Fear of being alone, fear of not being enough, fear of losing what has not yet been built. Allah removes these fears from your heart before introducing what is meant to stay. My dear sis, this stage also changes how you love. You love with intention, not urgency, with patience, not pressure, with sincerity, not expectation. You are no longer trying to prove your worth. You already know it. And when your soulmate recognizes you, it feels natural. They meet you where you are, not where you used to be. They appreciate your growth, not resent it. They value your boundaries, not challenge them. This is why Allah delays some connections until later, not because you are late, but because the version of you required for that connection needed time to become real. My dear sis, when Allah introduces your soulmate at this stage, the relationship does not consume your life. It complements it. It adds peace instead of pressure, stability instead of uncertainty. You still grow, you still evolve, but you do it together, not at the cost of each other. And one day, when you look back at the waiting, the unanswered questions, the quiet nights of surrender, you realize something profound. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was delayed without purpose. Every season prepared you for what you could finally hold without fear. This is the final way Allah introduces your soulmate, not by making you chase love, but by teaching you how to stand still so what is written for you can finally find you. My dear sis, if you are still waiting, do not rush your heart or doubt your worth. Waiting does not mean you are behind. It means Allah is being precise. Every delay has been shaping you. Every unanswered question has been protecting you. Every season of solitude has been strengthening your discernment. What is written for you will not arrive in chaos. It will arrive with clarity, with peace, with a sense of rightness that does not need convincing. Trust the one who sees the whole picture, not just the part you are standing in. Your story is unfolding exactly as it should. Ya Allah, heal our hearts from past attachments that were never meant to last. Replace confusion with clarity and impatience with trust. Prepare us for the love that brings peace, faith, and emotional safety. Protect us from connections that drain us and guide us to what is written for us. And when the time is right, allow our hearts to recognize what you have chosen with gratitude, wisdom, and calm certainty.